Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tracy, and today I want to talk about 10 easy preps anybody can do before the end of December. And December is the time to consider spending a little bit of extra money on your preps because right now everybody is having sales. This is just the month of sales. There are just so many great items that you can get. Not just the items that are on my list here, but almost any store has sales, and it'll go beyond Cyber Monday, Black Friday. Those are some of the sales. Those are kind of the kickoff sales, but usually there are sales all month long. So I really recommend that you take a look around and you fill in some of the gaps. All right, let's get to it. We live in uncertain times where politics are constantly a problem, where we have weather issues, where we have national weather disasters like Hurricane Helene just happened. We live in an area here where there's fires, wildfires can get out of control very quickly. And I just think it's a good idea to be prepared at all times with some simple preps. You can do way more than this, but this is a place to start that anybody can start with. Some of these things you might already have, and they're just really easy. But they'll help you get through a time that's very difficult a little bit easier than you would otherwise. So the first thing is cash. You should have cash. If there's a national weather incident or a local weather incident, it could be a hurricane, it could be fires, it could be just a lot of rain, heavy rains, and the power goes out. If you need something like from the store, if you need gas, if you need something, all the electronic payment systems are down, and you will need to have cash in order to pay for those things because the stores will only take cash if their computer systems are down. So you should always have some amount of cash in small bills, preferably in ones, fives, tens, 20s. And what amount you want to have is up to you. It just depends on what you think you might need to do. Like if you need to fill up your gas in your car, you might need $80. If you need to go stay in a hotel because you have to run out of your house and you're evacuated, you might need more than that. So just think about what you might need, and that might kind of guide you on how much cash you should have. The next thing is gas. If there's an emergency, you should have your cars already filled up with gas. If there's something that is is coming, you should already have your gas tanks full. If you don't know, then you're gonna have to go get gas potentially if you need to get somewhere. Go sooner rather than later. Don't assume the gas will be there. Don't assume the propane will be there, because if everybody is in the same boat as you are, it's going to be hard to get gas. So if you can have extra propane tanks at home, if you can have your tanks kind of always full, like get into the habit of always keeping your tanks at least over half full. If they're half full, it's time to go fill them up. Don't let them get down to the empty. Just kind of keep them full all the time. Then you will always be better prepared if something were to happen where you needed to get in your car and gas became unavailable or hard to get. Water. If something happens to your local water, for any reason, we had an incident here where our water was bad. It was in 2019, I believe, where there was a contamination in our water supply. So we had to boil all of our water. Now, at that time, I wasn't storing water long-term, but had I been storing water long-term, I could have just pulled out water from our long-term storage, and we could have used that to cook and clean and do all the things like brush your teeth and all that stuff. But instead, we were boiling water. So having water stored, even for something completely unexpected like that, I just never would have guessed that would have happened, is a good idea. At least 2 weeks of water, 1 gallon to 2 gallons per day of water per person in your house, and don't forget about your pets. Another thing you need for your water is water filtration tablets. You need other ways to filter water, like a life straw or a hand pump filter. All those things are good to have if you're in a situation where you have to go get water and clean it so that you can drink it. So it's not just storing water, it's also having ways to clean water if you need to do it, if you end up in that situation. So food, having at least a week to 2 weeks of food in your house at all times is going to get you through most emergencies. 2 weeks preferably. Now, this might need to be easy to cook food, because if your electricity is out and you can't cook with your stove or your oven, you're going to need to have things that are easy to make. So some things that are easy are things like canned food items that maybe you could just heat up easily, or things that you could just add water to, like kind of pre-made oatmeal with the flavors, or just cereal that you can pour milk on, or just things like that that are kind of easy to make and don't require a lot of prep. And along with that, I'd say get paper plates and bowls and cups, because you may not be able to do dishes. If you're having trouble with your water at all, then that's probably just a good idea to have disposable like utensils, plates, bowls, and all that stuff. So put that in with the food. Another thing you always want to have is a decent first aid kit. Now you can buy these pre-made, but you probably have a lot of that stuff in your house as it is. So it's good to just kind of gather it up and put it in one area so that you can find things. So just have the basics. If you don't know what the basics are, I'll link a kind of a pre-made first aid kit below that you can just buy from Amazon, and it'll be here and boom, you have it. So make sure you have all of your medicines filled, your prescription medicines or anything over the counter that you might need. If there's some kind of an emergency, you want to have that stuff around. It's the kind of stuff that flies off the shelf fast if there's something going on. Like in COVID, we learned that happened. Like you couldn't get certain, even over the counter medicines. You couldn't get Tylenol, you couldn't get children's medicines, things like that. It was just unexpected that it happened. So it's always good to have a good stock of that stuff around. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and hit subscribe. Toilet paper flies off the shelf no matter what's going on. If there's a problem anyway, all the toilet paper's gone. We all know that. We all learned that now. That's just the way it is. People are going to freak out and they're going to take all the toilet paper. So I think, we learned from that. You just need to be ready for that. Same thing with the bottled water. If you want to go buy your bottled water, you probably need to just have some of that around your house all the time, because people are going to go buy all the bottled water too, especially those little tiny water bottle containers, which I don't recommend that for long-term storage, but at least that'll get you through, like you can have a week or two worth of that you're kind of cycling through. Pet needs. Make sure you have all your pet needs for at least a couple weeks. Kitty litter, dog food, dog medicines, cat medicines. I don't know what kind of pet you have, but whatever you need for your pet, you need to have at least 2 weeks worth around at all times. Just don't let yourself run out if you can help it. I mean, if you live typically where you wait till the last day till you run out of something before you replace it, that's the kind of thinking that's going to get you automatically put in a bind if there's some kind of emergency or shortage that you're not expecting. So if you just always at least have a couple weeks of those items, then you'll be fine for a couple weeks. Also pet carriers. If you're having to get out of your house, a pet carrier, you probably need that. Having some kind of a go bag. So for us, our go bags are not the crazy intense like bug out bags that some of the survivalist sort of preppers do. Maybe someday we will do that. I think we should prep for the things that are more likely to happen in the location that we live first. So eventually when you get to that point where you have like all kinds of preps, let's just say you have all the things and then you're like, but the one thing I don't have is a serious bug out prep bag, then maybe it's time to do that. For me, I think we need to get the stuff that's more likely, get our go bag to be for the more likely scenario. In my case, I live in an area where there's wildfires every year. It gets very dry, we don't get that much rain, and then there's fires. So our go bag is more of we have go bags for each of us that are more like a weekend or a week-long getaway bag. Like everything you'd need to pack in a bag to get out of town for a week and go stay at a friend's house or a hotel, something like that for a week, because we can't be in our house because the area of our house is evacuated because of the potential for fires. So that's a different kind of go bag than what you're going to have if you're doing the serious survivalist prepping. But for us, that's most likely to be what happens. So within that bag, we have all those bags. We'll talk about what's in the bags later, but we also would take with us some crates that have important paperwork, like our house deed, certain financial stuff that we don't want to lose. So we will take those crates with us as well. So we have about 4 bags and about 2 crates worth of things that we load in our car and take. So it's good to know where all that stuff is. It's easy to pick up and go very quickly if you are suddenly in a situation where you need to leave your house quickly. Some cold weather items. Now you can have these things in your car already. You can have blankets, some jackets, things like that, because if you are in a situation where you live in a cold weather place, even if it's just a snowy road to and from work where you end up in some kind of crazy storm or traffic jam where you're in your car and I don't know, your heater's not working. It's good to have some extra warm weather stuff with you, like a blanket or a jacket, or some of those little hand warmers that you can buy that are kind of like disposable hand warmers, things like that. Okay, the other cold weather things that you could use are just if you're in your house already. So like if your electricity is out or heat isn't working, having an indoor propane heater is a good idea to keep your house warm. If you have some kind of a generator that you could keep your heat going in, like a solar generator, something like that, that you can keep things going, that you can keep your refrigerator going with as well. That's going to help you out, at least on the short term, for a week or two. So those things are good to just have now. And now is a really good time to buy those things. This is the time of year where like everything's on sale, right? Like, and I've already looked, and the solar generators right now are on sale for like huge discounts from, like, just look on Amazon, or Jackery's a brand, Blue Eddy's a brand, I think EcoFlow's the other brand. There's several that are on sale that are like 40% off, 50% off. So take a look at those. This is a good time to stock up on that kind of thing. Many of these items are on sale this time of year. We're in December, so I'm saying to get these things before the end of December because there's great, wonderful, awesome sales this time of year. They're on Amazon. Today is Cyber Monday, but that'll be gone. But usually throughout December, you're going to see a lot of sales on a lot of items because all these places want to sell this stuff for their big, their big December sale event. This is like what puts most of these stores in the, in the black, or I think in the black. It's like where most stores make their profit is their sales during December. So this is a really good time to shop for almost anything. If you want to get a survival knife, if you want to get a survival first aid kit, many of these items are going to be on sale right now. So it is a great time to buy these things before the end of December if you can. That is why I did this video, because I'm like, well, this is the time to get stuff. This is always the time to get stuff every year. Probably anything you want that's in that sort of emergency preparedness, survival type stuff, you're going to find sales. So just keep your eyes out and look. Please let us know in the comments if you have seen some great sales on prep items. That could be gifts, that could be things people buy for themselves, they can be small things, they can be large things. Just please put them in the comments below so that we can all see them and all benefit from the sales that you have found. That would really help us a lot. Thank you so much. Anyway, thanks for coming. Thanks for watching, you guys. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. If you want to go check out this video right here, I'll see you over there. Okay, bye-bye.